everyone, and welcome to DevCon 2022. I'm thrilled to be here with you today at Algolia's first ever developer conference, and we're so happy you joined us. I'm Bernadette Nixon, CEO of Algolia, and I joined the company back in 2020, having had experience in the search market before from both an open source and a SaaS product perspective. I believed in Algolia's API-first approach that's only strengthened over the last couple of years. DevCon is indeed a true milestone in our history, and we've a lot to celebrate. First of all, in 3 short weeks from now, we'll be celebrating our 10-year anniversary. This is a great achievement for any company, and I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the blood, sweat, and tears that our 2 founders, Julien Lemoine and Nicolas Desange, put into making Algolia who and what we are today. As I'm sure you know, they're both engineers themselves. As I mentioned before, and certainly all of you know, we're an API-first company, born by developers for developers as a better way to build. And we continue with this focus as our primary raison d'etre. For a moment, let's take a look at what we've accomplished together in the past few years. So every second, 50,000 searches are done on our platform. And trust me, it's way more than that when it comes to Black Friday and the holiday period. And those 50,000 searches a second add up to 50 billion searches a week, or 1.75 trillion a year. Now, at that point, it's almost too hard to kind of put it into context and relate it to other things. But what that really means is that we handle over 4 times more than Bing, Yahoo, Baidu, Yandex, and DuckDuckGo combined. That's 4 times more volume of search traffic on our platform than all of those combined. And we have all of you to thank for that, for building us into your websites and your applications that generate all of these requests. Over the next 2 days here at DevCon 22, we'll provide you with new product announcements and tips and tricks that can help you do more with Algolia. I also encourage you to collaborate and network and make connections as much as possible in this virtual environment. I know it's tricky, and certainly we look forward to hopefully making this an in-person event next year. Our purpose in life is to help you create great search and discovery experiences. As after all, our vision is to power discovery. And we have 2 foundational philosophies that we live by. The first one is that we strive to make it easier for you to solve problems. This sounds simple, but it's really important. And there's an art to making the complex simple. We know that you're able to do your best work when you can exercise your creativity. After all, developing software is a creative process, which is why we want to arm you with APIs, the picks and shovels of the modern digital age. And these APIs are the de facto building tools that enable you to create those dynamic digital experiences without needing to code everything from scratch. And secondly, we aim to provide you with new and cool and interesting opportunities to learn so that you can find inventive ways to solve those hard problems that you're working on. And this brings me to our latest exciting news that you may have seen. We acquired Search.io last week, and we couldn't be more excited to welcome their whole team into Algolia. And we want to be able to provide you, therefore, with the best semantic search on the market alongside our great keyword search. Search.io's flagship product, as many of you might know, is called Neural Search. And it's a vector search engine that uses hashing technology on top of the vectors to provide unprecedented price performance at scale. As we were on our journey figuring out, do we build, do we buy a vector search engine, we got really excited when we started talking with the folks at Search.io, in particular, Hamish Ogilvy and David Howden, their 2 co-founders. And we all started to see the possibilities, not just about both being API-first products, but the similarities that we had in product philosophy, in our overall culture, and the complementary nature of our products. So you all know a lot about Algolia Search, and you're going to see lots of new ways to enhance the value that you get from it over the next couple of days. So let me say a few things about Search.io's Neural Search. The underlying vector engine is extremely powerful. But the elegance of neural search comes from how it takes vectors and applies a hashing technique for space reduction, but at the same time is able to retain 96% accuracy, whilst at the same time reducing the cost needed to do that processing by 90%, because you don't need specialized hardware and infrastructure. It's the only vector engine on the market that does this. And let's face it, we all know vectors are powerful, but they're costly to compute, to store, to retrieve, and neural search solves that problem. So we're excited to combine our legendary keyword search with Search.io's groundbreaking semantic search based on their vector engine into a single API for you. And we're the only ones on the market doing this today. Why are we doing it? Well, 40% of Gen Zs don't even use Google as their search engine, and that's according to a Google study. They use TikTok or Insta, and 74% of shoppers out there are questioning whether keyword search is really the best way for them to find exactly what they want, because they want to be able to search as they think. So we want to stay ahead of all of this for you and provide you with the very best products, holding true to a few key tenets that have been important to us up until this point and will continue to be. And that is that we want to build APIs that make search and discovery intuitive, extremely fast, massively scalable, and remaining affordable and easy to implement. For a long time now, we've been the market-leading API search and discovery platform at scale. And the new products that we're going to bring to market based upon the acquisition of Search.io will break new ground, being the first and the only API search and discovery platform with a hybrid search engine, combining the keyword with semantic search in a single API. As you'd expect, this evolution of our platform will be blazing fast, massively scalable, and importantly, cost-effective. Nobody else on the market can offer this, and that puts you at a significant advantage. And don't get snowed by all the other claims out there about semantic search. You all know that not all semantic search is created equal, and that semantic search, underpinned by a powerful vector engine and enhanced with hashing, is a far cry from the old approaches with ontologies and knowledge graphs. And our goal is to get you start testing our new hybrid engine at the end of this year or the beginning of next. However, as Steve Jobs once famously said, there's one more thing. In fact, there are many more things to come, and that's because our hybrid engine provides us with an amazing launchpad for many new products and use cases to come. So turning our attention back to what you're going to see over the next couple of days, you'll see products and capabilities that we've launched recently, like our latest version of Algolia Recommend. And then you'll see some that we're announcing today or indeed later this year, all designed to automate tedious tasks for you and enable you to deliver amazing search and discovery experiences. Our commitment to you is to continue to bring new capabilities to our platform that can be leveraged across every industry out there, as we have a horizontal platform that solves problems for search developers in all different sectors. And as you know, we also go deep in certain verticals, e-commerce being just one of them. And we announced recently our merchandising hub earlier this month, aimed specifically at making merchandisers' lives easier and putting them in control of their own destiny so that they're self-sufficient and you can be focused on solving the next big challenge. As a developer, you don't need me telling you how hard your job is. You live it every day. You've got to be an expert in everything across the board in order to bring your apps and your services alive. So our goal in all the new products that we release for you is to unlock your creativity by providing everything as an API, allowing you to compose your best apps and customer experiences, and doing all of that with these essential API building blocks, which is better than building from scratch or tweaking, big monolithic, solutions. And we aim to cater for both the expert developers in the audience and out in the market, as well as newer developers with our combination of APIs and our powerful dashboard. So you can choose your own adventure. And ultimately, it's our desire to help you drive and easily make your organization's search and discovery capabilities your own. In fact, our mission, our vision, our purpose is to power discovery. And we've done that up until lately largely with keyword search. And as we extend our vision now to provide you with many more retrieval methods as a result of the vector engine that we've just bought from Search.io, you can have a platform that can enable you to build search for people into your apps so that they can search as they think and bring those phenomenal capabilities to the fore. We believe we owe you a standard of care as well, that you can count on us for, and that you can keep delivering the applications and create amazingly powerful search and discovery apps, putting your content in motion. That's what drives us day and night. We've got a great conference ahead of us. I can't wait for you to see what we have planned and hear all your stories about how you're using Algolia to revolutionize search and discovery within your organizations. Enjoy the presentations, the workshops, and the live coding sessions led by our search and discovery experts. And don't forget to visit the demo lab. They're a great opportunity to see what we're working on and give us feedback and have an impact on the design and the roadmap. And last, but certainly not least, have fun in the sessions. Be sure to let us know what we can be doing in addition to make your lives easier. Thank you and enjoy DevCon. Over to you, Ben.
Thanks, Bernie. Hey, what's up, DevCon? I'm Ben, and I lead the developer experience, or as we call it, DX team here at Algolia. And we are so excited that you're joining us for our first ever developer conference. And before we jump in to show you what we've been up to, I want to pause for a moment to recognize the 13 Algolia ambassadors that we have spread throughout the world. I'm going to talk about 4 of them, but you should know these ambassadors are out there in our community, blogging, writing code, sharing videos, teaching all of you how to do amazing things with Algolia. Now, the first ambassador I want to call out is Raymond Camden. He's based in the US and he runs a blog, and he recently did a series about how to migrate from Lunar to Algolia. Next up, this is Miguel, and he's based in Spain. He just made these really great YouTube videos about how to make a module for your website that can turn any e-commerce site into a site powered by Algolia Recommend. Next up is Maddie, and he's in the Netherlands. Maddie is a Strappy guru, and he has made the best way to integrate the Strappy CMS with Algolia. And finally, meet Jacob. Jacob's in Poland, and he is part of the Nuxt community and has been sharing how to bring the power of Algolia and merge it in with Nuxt. Thank you, ambassadors. Now I want to introduce you to someone else. This is Levi, and Levi is a man of many interests and talents. First of all, Levi is a full stack developer right here on the DX team at Algolia. But Levi is also a DJ. He crafts his own EDM music. He's also an awesome front-end designer. And last but not least, Levi is obsessed with the game Pokemon, the card version. And if you are a Pokemon fan, you know that the World Championships just happened last month in London. Well, we here on the DX team have been working on an application, and we want to help Levi achieve his dream. Next year, he wants to make a run at the World Championships in Yokohama. And so what we've been doing is we've been working on this application. We're using the awesome work of Andrew Backus, who built the TCG API, which contains data on over 15,000 Pokemon cards. Our application is pulling that data into an Algolia index, and then we're using the awesome instant search library for React hooks. You're going to hear more about that later today. And we get this awesome search experience right out of the box. So as you can see, I can come in and I can search. I can find all the Pikachu cards. I can browse by card set. I can filter down to just the Brilliant Stars cards. I can go by type, rarity, and so forth. Now, I also want to thank Simon Geller, who made these awesome CSS holographic effects and has given us permission to use those. Thanks, Simon. So let me jump back over and show you that I have a list of tasks that I have signed up to help the team with. So we're trying to get this app dialed in so Levi can start on his quest to make worlds. And my to-do list is broken up into 3 sections. First up, I've got some tasks around data. I need to get a new card set in. I need to filter cards and load all those into an index. And I need to keep this index fresh over time. So to help me with these data-related tasks, I'm going to bring in Algolia's resident data ingestion expert, Keisha Rose.
Hey, Ben, what's going on?
Hey, Keisha, I'm helping the team with this Pokemon application so that we can get Levi to Worlds next year. And I need some help. We got to get the new Astral Radiance card set indexed into the app. Can you help?
Yeah, of course. Wait, have you been doing this process manually this whole time?
Yeah, manual, dragging some stuff in, and there's custom code with custom filtering logic, because we just have to bring in the core Pokemon cards and then upload it every time there's a new set.
What? You don't have to write custom code to do that, Ben, especially with our new connector and flow APIs. Here, let me show you. With our new connector and flow APIs, you can connect to data, extract it, transform and enhance it however you need, and load it into Algolia all automatically. All you need to do is first set up a new data source. Here, you'll tell Algolia where data lives and how Algolia can fetch it on your behalf. Next, you can set up a data processing flow. Here, you can build together a series of steps to filter, enrich, manipulate, anything you need to do to prep your data before it lands in your index. Finally, you can bring that together with a task. Here, you can tell Algolia when to run these data updates. Should they happen based on an event in your data source, or should it happen on a schedule? Once you've got these three pieces put together, you're all set to go. So I'm going to show you in Postman how you can set this up. So the first thing we need to do is define our source. Now you can think of a source as a database or a web application or service. It could even be a CSV file or a JSON endpoint, doesn't matter. But in this case, we're going to be using JSON based on that Pokemon API. So here, my source type is JSON. I've given it a name called Pokemon Cards, and I'm just pointing to the URL of that data source. Once I send off this request, I now have my source created. All right, next, we need to create each of the steps in our data processing flow. So the first thing we want to do, since you mentioned we only want to keep the Pokemon cards, we want to create a filter step. In this case, we're using an equality that will say only keep the super type that equals Pokemon. So as our data goes through the flow, it'll check the super type, and if it matches what we've put in here for the value, it'll move along the process. If I send that off, we've got our first step created. Next, we want to add some enrichment. So in this case, we want to get the full name of the Pokemon set, not just the set ID. So here I'm creating an enrichment step. Now the enrichment step is really cool because you're able to fetch data outside of Algolia and bring it in to enrich your records individually. So in this case, we have our URL that we're pointing to get the data about the set, and I can pass it a variable based on the data in my record. So in this case, we have the set ID variable that I have defined down here, and basically I'm just pulling in our object ID. So for each record, we'll send in the object ID as the set ID to this URL. Once we get that data returned, we'll save it in the set property of our record. I'll hit send, and I now have my enrichment step. The last step, probably the most important, is to actually get that data into my index. So we have an indexing step. Here, I'm just defining the name of the index, and I also can define the mode and operation. So in this case, I want to fully replace the index and fully replace the actual records themselves. Sending off that request, I now have my step created. And at this point, I can go and create my flow. So here, I'm going to be using Postman variables just to make it a little bit easier. But you can see I have these different step IDs. So the main point of a flow is the graph. Here we have the entry point and the steps. The steps just define the way that data should be processed through your flow.
And of course, the entry point tells it where to start. So in this case, we're starting with the filtering step. Once we've finished with the filtering step, on success, any records that match that supertype of Pokemon will be sent to our enrichment step. Once we've finished that, the last step, of course, is to actually send it to the index, and that's it. Nothing else after that. So that's our full flow. Once I hit send, there we go. We've got our data processing flow created. Now to set it all up and bring it together with a task. So at this point, we're just going to put in 3 pieces. A task needs a source, a trigger, and a target. The source we already created. So again, using those Postman variables to grab the source ID. The trigger will tell Algolia when to actually fetch that data. So that could be based on a data source update. Maybe you added a new product, maybe made a modification to a record. Or in our case, we're going to be basing it off of a schedule. Now to define the schedule, we are using a cron expression. And all this means is that on the 0th minute of the 0th hour on a Monday, or the first day of the week, we want to refresh this data source. The last piece is the target. Now I could send this data directly to my index, unedited, uncleaned, but I just created that awesome flow. It's going to filter and enrich my data set. So I'm going to use that as my target, and the flow will handle the indexing. Once I hit send, that's it. Just like that, I have set up a fully automated data processing flow. Algolia is going to go and fetch that data for me and keep it fresh in my index every Monday, so I don't have to think about it. Now, we don't have to wait until next Monday to see that new data. I can go ahead and run that task right now. And in the background, like I mentioned, Algolia is getting that data. It's filtering for just the Pokemon cards. It's enriching the data with that new set. And at this point, Ben, I think you should be able to see the updates in your application. Go ahead and refresh the page and see if you see them.
All right, let's take a look. So if I go in and check out the set, hey, there it is, Astral Radiance. So Keisha, you're telling me I don't have to worry about keeping this data fresh. It's just going to come in every Monday?
Exactly right. With connectors in Flow, anyone can set up their own automated data processing flows. So you always have the latest data in your app.
Awesome sauce. Thanks so much, Keish. See you later.
See ya.
All right, so let's get back to our tasks. Well, thanks to Keisha, our data tasks are now done. So now I got a whole other set of tasks around configuration. And for help with the configuration tasks, I'm going to bring in Senior Technical Program Manager on the Developer Experience team, Khalid Elisad. Khalid, are you there?
Hello, what's up, Ben?
Hey, Khalid, I need your help on something. Wait, where are you right now? Aren't you supposed to be working? Is that a hammock?
Yeah, man, remote work, baby. You know me, Ben, I automate everything. How can I help you?
Oh, nice, nice. Well, hey, I got some configuration tasks on this app we're building, we're helping Levi build, and I've got some optimizations that I need to do, and I'm hoping that you can help me out.
Yeah, sounds good. Walk me through them.
Here, the first thing I got to do is Levi's favorite card is this one called Chonkachu, and it doesn't come up in search results. So actually, I got to search for Pikachu VMAX to get it to come up.
Okay.
Next, I also need to implement hit points. So you can see we've got it here in the UI, but when I click, nothing happens. Finally, if I do a search for shiny Pikachu, nothing comes up. So these shiny cards aren't coming up. I think something to do with the holographic or holo keyword. I'm not sure exactly how to fix it.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I mean, I've got my laptop right here in the brand new Algolia CLI. So why don't I jump in and see if I can help you out? Sound good?
Okay.
All right, let's get cracking. So I'll start off by running a simple search here on the Pokemon cards index. I'll query for the search term Chonkachu to start. And just like you showed me in the app, I expect that the index is going to yield no results. So let's give this a shot. Yeah, no results. So I think what we need is a synonym mapping Chonkachu to Pikachu VMAX. That way, users can look up Chonkachu and Algolia will automatically show the correct VMAX cards in the result. This here should do it. Nice. Let's run the search command again and give it a quick test. Beautiful. The two VMAX cards show up. So next is the hit points filter issue. All you need here is to add hit points as a facet in the index configuration. Once that's done, if you're using Algolia's instant search JavaScript library for the front end, the UI will automatically populate with filtering options. No additional work needed. Done. And finally, the shiny problem. That's right. This one's a little trickier. First, we need to enable filtering on the isShiny attribute in the index records. Similar to the hit points issue, we'll add a facet for isShiny. Then we'll use a rule to detect when users search for the word shiny. If any query contains the word shiny, the results will automatically filter to isShiny equals true, and the word shiny will be removed from the query. That way, the PokeSearch app doesn't get stuck looking for Pokemon cards named shiny. Ta-da! That should do it, Ben. Give it a try. Go ahead and refresh the page.
All right, let's try that. I'm going to refresh. So if I search for Chonkachu, hey, the mighty Chonkachu showing up. That one's done. Now, how about, can we filter on hit points? Oh yeah, for sure. That's working great. And then how about if we do a search for shiny Pikachu? Oh yeah. This is fantastic, Khalid. Levi's going to be so stoked that this is working so well. Man, you made this happen so fast. I'm really impressed. Thanks so much.
Don't thank me, Ben. Thank the Algolia CLI. Without it, I wouldn't be able to kick back and automate everything I do. It's made my life so much easier. If you want to learn more, you should check out my talk later today. We'll take a deep dive into what the CLI can do to accelerate your productivity and automate your work. And guess what? The Algolia CLI ships today at DevCon.
I won't miss it. See you there.
Bye.
All right, well, thanks to Khalid and the Algolia CLI, we got our next 3 tasks with configuration done. So last but not least, there's a couple things I want to do here to help Levi and anyone who uses this application really enhance their chances of winning. We want to be able to suggest winning cards as well as show what other players using the application like. So for those, I'm going to bring in Director of E-commerce Product Marketing, Reshma Iyer.
Hey, Ben, what's up?
Hey, I know Levi told you about that PokeSearch app that the team's been working on, and there's just 2 more tasks I have left to accomplish. One, I need to be able to suggest winning cards and also show what people using the app are liking and choosing. So net, I'm hoping you have some suggestions of how we can really help Levi and other players up their game.
Funny you should say. I've actually been using Algolia Recommend to train some models for this application. Algolia Recommend is a flexible API used to build AI-powered recommendations to enhance the discovery experience. Here, let me show you what I've been up to. Let's get into the Algolia admin. And here are some of the models that I've been training. The first model that I want to talk to you about is related products. So here we combine collaborative and content-based filtering to recommend items that are similar to the one that is selected. Collaborative filtering is based on user interactions, which means click and conversion events as people navigate the site, and those have been used to train the model. Content-based filtering is based on attributes. In this case, card type and set. So our hybrid model is using both customer interactions and data we know from the cards themselves to provide the highest quality recommendations on every card. We already have enough data here, and our models finished training for 100% coverage. So let's test it and see what happens. I'm going to type in a card here, and as you can see, we already have some recommendations showing up right here as related products. There's even some code samples here for you to quickly get started, but I've already written some components for your front end just to speed up the integration. Before we get into that, there's one more model that I'm really excited to show you, and that is trending items. Our trending model tracks the most popular cards in our index over time. This is a collaborative model, so it's 100% powered by user click and conversion events. The model can recommend popular cards either across a whole index or within certain facets. Here, we're also tracking popular cards by type. These recommendations aren't tied to a certain card. We can just look within a facet type value, like water or fire, and it'll show me the most popular card within that facet. So let's try it out here. And there you go. You can see trending items right there. Now that the models are trained, we just need a few lines of codes to add them into the application. Let me show you what that looks like. There you have it. You can see cards that are paired well with this primary card, and also cards that are trending within a certain type, and in this case, it's metal. Not only that, you can even see which card evolves from the other. Basically, if you want to be able to move forward in the game, you need to have this card here before even Agron VMAX. There you go. This is a really powerful model for Levi to be able to advance in his game. Not only that, let me show you one more thing. You know how you were looking for Chonkachu earlier and the search result just didn't show anything on the page?
Yeah.
Let's say I was looking for something else and oops, there's nothing again.
Wait, were you searching for your name? You were seeing if there was a Reshma card?
I was, why not? You never know. There could be a card on my name, but clearly there were no results there, but I'm still interested in looking at what else is going on. So I would recommend models actually can solve that. Let me show you. Still search for my name, but look at this. I can find cards that are trending across the index, including the most popular card at the moment. So this just keeps the discovery experience so rich, and you can continue to look for cards that are interesting and you want to add into your pack. I think Levi is going to be really happy with what he's going to be able to do, finding all these recommendations and helping him win at the tournament.
Yeah, this is great, Reshma. Thanks so much. All right, let's take a look at our task list. With the help of Recommend and Reshma, we just banged out the last two tasks on the list. This is great. So let's recap. First set of tasks around data ingestion and cleaning our data. We got Keisha to come in. She showed us the new connector APIs and flow APIs. We saw the ability to run that right away and on a schedule. We didn't have a chance to show you that you can also run these based on a webhook. This all comes later this year in Q4. After that, Khalid came in to help us modify, back up our configuration. We modified synonyms and search results. CLI drops right now today at DevCon. And last but not least, Reshma and the power of Recommend. We got AI-powered trends and showed related items. And in the end, we improved the discovery of our application. Recommend's available now, and you can get started using it wherever you use Algolia. So that was my to-do list. And now let me suggest one for you. If you're interested in learning more about connector APIs and flow APIs, you should go to Keisha's session later today. You can also check out the demo lab today, where there's a separate section and a deeper dive on some of these new capabilities. And last but not least, join the beta. We really want your feedback. We want to know what you want to connect to. Your voice can help influence the direction that we're going here. If you want to know more about the Algolia CLI, go to Khalid's session. He's going to go into many more use cases and examples. You can install the CLI right now and join us on GitHub. We're building the CLI out in the open. We want to hear your issues, your comments, your feedback. And hey, if you want to make a pull request, let us know. And then finally, with recommend, you should start capturing events in your Algolia app. As Reshma said, those events are what power the models that recommend provides. And there's also a special session in our demo lab today. Paul Louis, one of our engineers, is going to be showing more of the ins and outs of recommend. But let's bring it back to Levi. So we had fun building this application to help him get to worlds. But I'm also wondering if there's more we might be able to do to help him. So Bernie kicked us off today and she talked about our mission here at Algolia. She also mentioned the search.io acquisition and the vector engine that they provide called Neural Search. So that got me thinking, what else could we do with Neural Search to help Levi? Well, he's going to be working really hard. He's going to be playing lots of Pokemon to get ready to go to Worlds. So if I do a search here inside of this, this example, you notice I misspelled caffeine. Obviously, he's going to need to be well caffeinated to play all this Pokemon. Misspelled caffeine. And without a synonym, we still matched. And we also matched across these 2 or 3 different concepts, however you want to think about it. And if we click here, we can see that we actually didn't match on any keywords. This is all semantic search, neural search, allowing us to find these great recommendations to Starbucks. So this might be a gift idea that I have where I can help, again, further Levi's cause. Now let's take another look at a query that's really hard to do, if not impossible to do with keyword search. So after Levi makes it to Worlds next year, I think we're going to want to get the team together to celebrate. So what might we do to keep our celebration beer cold? Again, no keywords here at all. We can see no keyword matching, but yet Neural Search is recommending these little refrigerators that can help us keep our celebration beer cold. That's just a quick peek at Neural Search and how it works. If you want to know more, go to Dustin's session later today. With that, thank you so much for joining us at DevCon, Algolia's first ever developer conference. Enjoy the sessions and have a great day.